Hi, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to make artichoke chicken casserole. And this is something I've made many times, and because I've learned from that, the recipe calls for 4 chicken breasts whole, but I cut them up. This is a 9 by 12, 9 by 13 pan. I sprayed it. The recipe didn't call for it. But all I did was cut up the chicken. I put it in the freezer for just a little while to let it firm up a little bit to make it easier to cut. So we're starting with that. And on top of that, I'm going to put these 8-ounce container of sliced mushrooms. Whoa. They've already been washed and they're clean. You can use whatever mushrooms you prefer. Put that in there. Then it calls for a 14-ounce can of artichoke hearts. And it doesn't call for them to be crushed up, but I do. I let them drain. If I can get this out of here. Come on. My goodness. Well, I'll just have to pick the whole thing up. I let them drain, and then I put them in this little food processor. And I didn't make mush out of them. They still have some texture to them, but that's going on top. And spread that out. On top of the mushrooms and the chicken. It does not say to season the chicken. I've made it so many times. I just know what works best. Anyway, I got that on there. Most of it. You want to get it all because there's so much flavor in artichoke hearts. Alright. And you can see where, you know, if you had used a can with the artichoke hearts whole, you wouldn't have had this good coverage. You would have had, every once in a while, you would hit an artichoke, a huge artichoke heart, and it's just better this way. Okay. Now, the next thing that's going on this, let me wash my hands a second. Alright, the next thing that's going on, I'm going to tell you how I mixed it. It's not like the recipe. In this bowl here is a cup of grated Parmesan cheese, 3/4 of a cup of mayonnaise, 1/4 of a cup of sour cream. You can lighten all this up, use light mayonnaise, light sour cream if you want to. About 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder, but you season it, you know, if you like garlic more, add more. And then I added something that it didn't call for, which was sun-dried tomatoes, and I put it in that little mixer also, and I just put 4 or 5 in there, and I let them not puree, but get to a decent little consistency. And I added it to this, and I mixed all of this together, and it's going on top of this casserole. And of course I'm going to spread it out, but it's easier if you put it everywhere and not in one spot and try to spread. Okay. So that was Parmesan cheese and sour cream and mayonnaise, garlic powder, and I use sun-dried tomatoes, although you don't have to. It's not part of the recipe. Okay, and it's going in a 350 degree oven that's been preheated. And it says about 30 minutes, but I would test it. You know, if you have an instant thermometer, that would be ideal to test the chicken, make sure it's done, put it in there. Should read at least 165 degrees. And I'll bring you back when it's done. And we'll have a little taste. Hi everybody, and the casserole's done. And you remember me telling you that I put this in the freezer for a little while so it would you know, get a little firmer so I could cut it up. Well, it affected my cooking time. So this actually, let's see, this actually took 45 minutes. And there was a lot of water, which is from chicken and artichokes, even though the artichokes were drained. And I scooped some of that off. But here is that wonderful casserole. Oh my goodness. The casserole with the mushrooms. The mushrooms have water in them too. Can you see that? That looks wonderful. I'm going to put part of this juice over it. This is an absolutely delicious casserole. You don't have to put the dried tomatoes in there that I put in. You don't have to do that. That's not part of the recipe. I got to put this down to cut it. Sorry. Ooh, let me move this over some. There we go. Get a knife. Cut this up. Let's see. Can I zoom you in? Here we go. Oh. That chicken is so tender. The mushrooms come through, the artichokes come through, and of course, you know, the topping has the Parmesan cheese and mayonnaise and sour cream, and it's wonderful. You have got to try this. You'll love it. I promise you, you'll love it. Please subscribe and leave me a thumbs up and leave me a comment if you have any questions. Thank you for spending part of your day with me. Until next time, you take care.